Welcome, world. What in the world? Welcome, everybody, to Scoutcast 2022. I'm Jeff Cavanaugh, and that's Voch Lombardi, and we're here to talk to you.
Hello, sir. Pardon all my little sounds and things going over here. My stream is currently under construction because, Jeff, after you've been a YouTuber for a little while, it's too soon for you now. But people are going to get sick of looking at the same shit, and you're going to have to just make like changes or whatever. So my stream is under construction, and I'm currently making changes. So we're going to get a very bare version of it today. But we here. We're here to, and look, I didn't even know that the Cowboys were like playing today. Like I knew, but I forgot. So
that's the way it goes. Yep.
We're here to not talk about the game that's happening tonight, but to talk about some shit that's happening Monday. But if y'all want to talk about some Cowboy stuff later, we can. But this Scoutcast is where we come together and we scout things. And Jeff, I'm putting pressure on you right now while all the peoples is watching. Is this something that we're gonna do like weekly, once a week, or just whenever we feel like it?
Every week.
We're
going to do it every week, okay? This is the debut, the glorious 2022 debut of Scoutcast. Jeff Cavanaugh and Voch Lombardi getting you ready for the NFL draft.
It is.
And I know a bunch of you crazy people are going to be in here, and you're going to be like, oh, but I want to hear about the Cowboys. Well, just hold on, okay?
We'll get there.
Because if it helps you, think of this as shopping for future Cowboys, okay?
There you go. And then there's this other set of maniac ass people that be like, well, Jeff, what do you think about Henry Kafelkovich that plays box safety that's going to come out in the 7th round in 2024? We don't know.
It's January 8th.
I told people I was watching Georgia. They was like, hey man, take a look at 88. He ain't even draft eligible this year. Well, I'm not gonna watch 88 then. Nah, straight up. Just because he's
I didn't mean to watch 88, but 88 plays for Georgia. What is that? That's Jalen Carter. And
you couldn't help but to see him. I don't know his name, but
his name's Jalen Carter, and he's better than Jordan Davis, the dude who's gonna go in the first round. He's better than Devontae Wyatt, who's gonna go in the 2nd or 3rd round. 88. The best 2 players in this game can't be drafted. The national championship game, Will Anderson for Alabama, number 31, the pass rusher. He ain't eligible. And Jalen Carter for Georgia is not eligible. So the 2 best players in this game, you can't have them.
That is interesting right now. Brother Jeff, Brother Law Nation is sending people over to watch us. He's raiding us right now. So shouts out to Law Nation sending us a raid, man, showing some love, sending some people, man. You ready to get going, Brother Jeff? You ready to talk about these people?
I'm ready to get going. Thank you to everybody who is tuning in and locking in on either I'm on YouTube and on Twitch, Jeff Cavanaugh on both. And this is, of course, Voch Lombardi. If you are on my channel, make sure that you are following Voch Lombardi. He is a beast. Jared said, I'd love to do some shopping on Alabama squad. Yeah, we're going to do some shopping on both squads. I told Voch, I said, Voch, we got to I said, it's go time. We got to get ready. We got to watch these Alabama and these Georgia dudes so we can do Scoutcast episode 1 before the game and tell people about the players they're going to be watching, okay?
So let's get started, right? I watch both sides, right? And this is not just a Cowboy show. This is for everybody. But in theory, I look at it from a lot of, what if Cowboy, whatever. I'm sure whoever it was that just tapped in on your side that want to go shopping for Cowboys, I found a very interesting thought just looking at these gentlemen, Brother Jeff. And I want to really see what your thoughts are about how these guys are going to get drafted, right? I don't think there's a chance we can get the Bama guys. But I think it's a chance we can get most of these Georgia kids. But I just kind of want to run down the list. And I've grown as a talent evaluator guy, so we're just kind of going to go back and forth on this. So let's start with Nicoby Dean, 17.
You picked my favorite one.
Nico, go ahead.
And I'm going to shout out to Enver K in the super chat who says Scoutcast listening while plowing snow. Appreciate you guys. Thank you, sir. Shout out to Gyro and everybody who's on the Twitch side of things. I'm thinking about turning my YouTube people and my Twitch people into enemies, like seeing if I can pit them against each other and make them enemies. Okay. Nicoby Dean, number 17, Georgia. He plays linebacker.
Man,
I've called him Tiny P. That stands for Tiny Parsons.
Okay.
Yeah, he's Tiny Parsons.
I was thinking like urine or piss, but cool.
No. Tiny Parsons. Or maybe you think of him as like a Roquan Smith type. Sure. Nicoby Dean is a stud.
Yes.
He plays for Georgia. He's 6 foot. He's 225, so he's not a giant dude like Micah Parsons or some of those big linebackers. He's one of them smaller linebackers.
Sure.
But one of the things, like we'll get to some of the Alabama guys in a bit. Mm-hmm. one of the things that makes me really mad about linebackers
Sure.
is if you don't diagnose things properly, you go the wrong way, you run yourself out of plays, you run out of tackles. Nicoby Dean doesn't do that. Nicoby Dean diagnoses fast as hell and goes where he's going fast as hell.
Sure.
They're not afraid to have him cover running backs or tight ends or drop into coverage. He is, for 6 foot 225, stronger than you would think because he will pop offensive linemen at the point of attack when he needs to. He can slip blocks. He plays through traffic with his eyes on the runner. So, he is football intelligence way up here, athleticism up here, makes tons of plays for them. And like Parsons, Nicoby Dean will line up over the A-gap, over a center or a guard, and they got no chance to block him when he blitzes. So I think Dean is one of those dudes who I am anti-first-round linebacker for the most part.
Sure.
I'll make an exception for Nicoby Dean because I think he'll get you 7-8 sacks a year on top of playing linebacker, and I think he'd go real well with Micah Parsons. That's Nicoby Dean.
I really like him as a and I'm going to try not to say all the points that you just made because you almost said all of them, but blitzy dude, I like him. I like him when he's navigating in traffic. If you're like a Cowboy fan and you see Van Der Esch, if he runs into somebody, he's basically out to play. That ain't Dean. Dean can duck under blocks. Dean can go around blocks. Dean doesn't really get lost in all that funk. Just watching linebackers though, Jeff, what you normally get a lot of times is that you either get guys that they see it so well that they get to the play early, but they don't cover ground as well, or they cover ground really well, but they don't see it as fast. That was partially what I was not liking about Parsons when he first came out, right? Parsons didn't see it as well, but you learn as a talent guy that if you fast enough to get there, who cares? Now we know. But Dean, kind of does both of those things really well. He covers ground quickly. He covers grass quickly. Plus, he sees it. There was this one play in the Florida game from last year or something like that. I thought he was man covering Kyle Pitts. Nah, he was just kind of floating in his hook and curl zone, and Kyle Pitts just happened to be coming. And he's 17. Dean, he going, they like throwing to Kyle Pitts. Let me just check Kyle Pitts real quick. And I thought he was in man coverage versus Kyle Pitts. No, he was just doing a smart thing versus Kyle Pitts. So he's a very aware player. I've seen him line up wide versus running backs, all that good stuff. We've seen it all, brother Jeff.
Nicoby Dean, I think to me is the best. Hold on, let me go through this. He's the best defensive prospect in this game that's allowed to be drafted. Like somebody said, what about him versus Will Anderson in my chat? The Alabama pass rusher Will Anderson, he's going number 1 overall next year. So that's not the same thing.
So let me ask you this, then, Jeff. Let me ask you this: where do you draft Nicoby Dean? Because this is going to turn into a whole nother thing that's going to branch off into 6 other topics. But go ahead, sir.
That's okay. So the answer to where would I pick Nicoby Dean is probably right where the Cowboys are going to be picking, mid to late round 1. I think that's where Nicoby Dean is going, mid to late round 1.
When I watch him, right, there's a lot of things that go on in my mind. First of all, teams suck at drafting, Jeff. You know what I'm saying? Teams suck at drafting. That's why guys could fall. Then there's the analytic dudes. Then there's the he's small guys, right? We're watching draft last year. We love guys like Nick Bolton. We love Jeremiah Wosu-Koramoah. And those dudes would fall for their own reasons or whatever, right? And a lot of people fall because they small, right? I'm looking at Nicoby Dean. Fantastic player, but I think sometimes teams will trust analytics over tape. And I don't think he's a good analytic guy. I think he's fantastic tape dude. I think you can get hands on this guy. I think he's a guy that could fall to you at 32 or 30, 20, wherever the hell that you drafting at.
I like that you went with 32. I like that you started at 32.
I said it first, and then I worked my pessimism down or whatever. But I don't think he's a guy that's going to be terribly out of reach because I just see what the history in this league, the history of drafting off-ball linebackers.
Yeah, it depends what teams do. I mean, Roquan Smith went 10, didn't he? So sometimes they'll take him high, and then sometimes with JOK, I think it was health related.
Shouldn't be.
And with Bolton, I think Nicoby Dean will test as a better athlete than Nick Bolton. I think that will happen. So I would bet he's a first rounder, but I wouldn't be stunned if he made it down into the 20s and to the Cowboys.
This is another conversation we're going to have on another day when it's more safe to come outside because the block is hot right now and there's a lot of moment prisoner people right now, so I ain't going to say too much, but I went back to actually watch Nick Bolton with Kansas City and JOK with Cleveland. If you take away Parsons' pass rush stuff, they looking like better regular linebackers than Parsons. So we wasn't wrong necessarily.
Yeah, you don't have to tell anybody that though. Yeah, you don't have to tell people that. Just remember
I don't like a lot of my people, Jeff. We weren't wrong necessarily. It's just that we didn't think that Parsons was really Von Miller. But just on the linebacker side, them dudes are doing stud things also. I just wanted to give y'all an update because I do watch more than Cowboy football. Let's move on, man. Jordan Davis, 99. Feel like I've been watching film on him for years. I was a fan of him last year. He went back to school. I don't know why. Go get your money, sir. He's still just as fantastic. Jordan Davis is so huge, he make other big people on his line look small. I thought 95 Wyatt. I thought Wyatt was small. Wyatt 315. It's just, just that Davis 360. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I see a lot of chatter about him. I'm not willing to put him in the Vita Vea category. Vita Vea ran like a 4.9, and he probably gave you a little more pass rush stuff. But Jordan Davis, in terms of a run stop dude, probably a little more dominant than Vea, actually. Vea was more of a prospect, and whatever. You actually see the film of Davis smoking the shit out of like anything between B gaps. He's smoking all that. He can do two gappy things. If you want him to be like a one tech, I think he moves solid enough to do some even front one tech stuff. But like I said, he's not going to give you pass rushy things, so you might as well not even think of him in that way. But just in terms of just run stuff he got, there were plenty. Whether it be it wasn't Florida, but like Arkansas. And it was like some other game. It was Kentucky. They tried like 3 quarterback sneaks, right? And his big ass got under 3 people. At 6'6", Jeff, at 6'6", he was still able to get his big ass under 3 people. And you see the center and the guard collectively, like a cartoon, Jeff, like a parody, Jeff, like a fake short film, fly backwards. They hadn't completed a quarterback sneak since this dude been there, Jeff. I like Jordan Davis. I love to have him on my team. And the only case I can make for him being on the Cowboys is that he's not giving you pass rush stuff and teams suck at drafting. What you think about Jordan Davis, brother Jeff?
I think Jordan Davis is one of the easiest evaluations of all time because you already did it. Like if you want a defensive tackle who's going to get you like Jordan Davis, I will bet anybody will never have 5 sacks in a season in the NFL. And I'll bet you that he'll be one of the 2 best nose tackles in the NFL within a year or two. It'll be him and Vita Vea.
Yep.
Vea's probably a better athlete, but sure. Jordan Davis is somebody that a team is going to pick. And the reason they're going to pick him is because, as you said, from B gap to B gap, yep. If your running back is planning to run somewhere between the outside of each guard into the center, Jordan Davis by himself says no. Yep. You're not going to. So he's going to be an incredible run defender. He's going to fix your run defense by his damn self, and he's not going to rush the passer. So I think that is, again, probably late, maybe mid round 1. I think, again, if you're shopping for future Cowboys, you might have a crack at Jordan Davis, and I'm going to say thank you to Coach B, who is shouting us out from COVID quarantine. Say God bless.
I also have 5 from Coach B saying the same thing. Appreciate you, sir. Shouts out to Weedham boys. He dropped the 5 in Super Chat. He says Trayvon Walker. Let's see which one it is. 44 is an excellent D-Law replacement. We'll talk about Trayvon Walker, my guy. And Saul Graciano dropped 5 says, shouts out to Scoutcast. Glad this is back. You see him in the back. You see Dre and Big Boy in the back. So there's that. So appreciate y'all for tuning in. So Jeff, let me ask you a question. And I know it's incredibly early. So like, let's just say that your current big board is like 10 people deep. And it's so funny because position value is going to be weird for the best guys on this list. And it's going to be strange for the one dude I really ain't feeling too much. But who are you taking higher, Dean or Jordan Davis?
Dean.
I agree. But that's not because one is a one tech and one is a linebacker, right? Like which one's the better player for you?
Dean. I do think because it is positional value that makes me say that, because I think as a one tech, I think Jordan Davis is incredible. I'm not picking an incredible one technique nose tackle over a really good 3-down linebacker that can rush the passer. Not doing it.
And just this conversation we're having, I think, is going to be the reason why some of these guys fall down. Good stuff. Let's keep it at D tackle. Let's go Devontae Wyatt. He's number 95. He's totally different from Jordan Davis. He's more of the slashy, penetrating type guy. But it's interesting because I thought he was small, but he's just next to Jordan Davis. He's 315. So if you erase the idea that Jordan Davis is a truck, you know what I'm saying? that dude moves pretty damn well for 315. You know what I'm saying? I don't make player comparisons because they suck, but I see a lot of, I'll just say Neville Gallimore and what they was able to do with him. I'm not making a direct comparison, but he was doing Grady Jarrett type things from where he was at. You know, those slashy dudes. So Jeff, give me something about these slashy, probably going to be a full-time 3-tech kind of guy that could do some pass rushy 1-tech things. Tell me about 95 Devontae Walker, Georgia.
Yeah, I think he's it's tough because he plays on a defensive line next to Jordan Davis,
Sure.
and he plays next to 88 Jalen Carter when he comes in the game.
Sure.
And so Carter is more explosive than him, and Jordan Davis is a bigger space eater, and so he's just kind of like out there.
Yeah.
But the things you're seeing, that's what I see too, where I would probably kind of call him a flash player. Like, he's not super dominant at the point of attack, but he's a good defensive tackle.
Sure.
And then you'll have those plays where you're like, oh, wow, he's got a really good get off. Like, that's a dude that can shoot gaps. That's a dude that can put offensive linemen in bad spots.
Day two.
So for Devontae Wyatt, my guess is he is more of a second, maybe even third round guy.
Sure.
But he's a good player. He just plays on a defensive line with a couple of monsters.
Yep. So I mean, even the guys I just said, right? Like, you know, whether it be like Neville Gallimore or something like that, that's still a third round dude. So, hey, you know, is he going to be a dude that goes to the league and get that peanut butter that they put in people, and he turns into 330 and ends up being a flashy 1-tech guy? I don't know, but I think 3-tech is in his future. I like his hands also. You know, some of his some like his pass rush moves and things like that. He's pretty consistent with his technique, but not the most consistent with his production. Sometimes he does that run down the middle of people thing, and I hate when D linemen just try to run down the middle of people, especially when they're stronger than you. But for a quick moving 315-pound dude like him, I think you can get both. And look, to be fair, if Devontae Wyatt is good because Jordan Davis eating up space in the middle, draft both of them. I think you'll have the opportunity to draft both of them. So shit, put them together.
Saul Graciano jumped into my super chat with $2, and he said, "Voch butchered my name, hoping you do better."
Did I not? We said the same name, so shit.
Well, then we both butchered it.
Jeff butchered that.
Graciano.
Graciano. That's what it looks like.
Graciano. Saul Graciano.
I sound things out. Brugler is a big fan of Walker. Trayvon Walker.
The way you said that, I know that we already agree on Trayvon Walker.
I ain't see it. I think he can be anywhere. Like, if he's at his peak, I would say Derek Barnett. If he's at his floor, he could be a Caleb Chase on, bro. I just don't see.
Okay, so we don't necessarily see him the same, because you just named, at least to me, some kind of turn the corner, twitched up guys. And I think my problem with Trayvon Walker, this is number 44 for Georgia. Dane has him as number 9 overall on his board right now.
Sure.
And I don't think I'll have him as a first rounder.
That I agree with. Sure.
He's 275 pounds. Like,
I don't think he's that though, Jeff. I don't think he's that.
I do.
Sorry for cutting you off. I think that dude got to be 250 at least. He can't be 270. He just looks slender to me out there.
See, I think it's because he's, what is he, 6'5"? I think he's, like, to me, he looks like a defensive end kind of out of a lab. I'm like, oh, that's what I want. And I think he does the things that the strong defensive ends do well. Like, I think he extends on dudes well. He plays the run well. Sure. And when he's running back and kind of dropping, he's kind of nifty, even like a linebacker. The only reason I don't see him as a top 10 player, or, well, I guess I haven't seen 10 guys better yet, but I've only seen like 10 guys. I just don't see a guy with a pass rush plan or a turn the corner guy. So, like, I see a good defensive end, but I don't see a pass rusher. So, like, top 9 would put him as, I'm just guessing here, like the third edge in this draft class. And I couldn't imagine I'm going to have him as the third edge.
So when I said like peak Derek Barnett, like that's just me being safe, and it's just early, assuming that he can pick up on because he is raw. Like, he's a very raw player. But his longness turns into, like, you know how like your long is hard to turn sometimes. I see him kind of weird hard to turn when he's against some of these offensive linemen sometimes. And he doesn't rush with a plan. He's very raw. He doesn't have an idea about what he does with his hands. But when you see him use his hands, it looks like he knows what he's doing with his hands. It looks that way. But the most part, consistency is the big deal with this dude. And yeah, he doesn't look 275 to me. He looks 250-ish. He looks slim. He's probably a little stronger than what you would consider a slim looking guy to be looking like. He can hold the edge, I guess, if he puts his all into it. But when I was watching him, I just didn't see a guy that's like top 10 in this draft. I see a guy to where if you throw a bunch of second and third round pass rushers in a box and put his name in that box, he blends in with those dudes. But if you put him in a box with top 10 pass rushers, he don't blend in with them cats at all. So I don't think that he's that dude for real. Not that I'm hating him or nothing like that. I just don't see him as one of those dudes that Dane Brugler was talking about.
I'm checking here real quick to see if I can find my last year rankings, to see if I can find a guy that I would like put him around.
I don't even remember last year.
2021 board. Ojulari is better.
What about the
Phillips is
kid?
Better.
Pittsburgh kid.
Which one was Pittsburgh?
They had a big one and a small one.
You know who I would? Okay, how about like Turner was huge, but like Peyton Turner at Houston, where like he's a good defensive end. I just never thought he was going to be a really good pass rusher.
I like Peyton Turner more than Walker.
That's probably true. Yeah, because he had longer arms and used them really, really well. So yeah, I mean Walker's going to be a second round guy for me, probably something like that.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so if you draft him at 32nd, would you be like, huzzah, or would you be like
I would be like, man, I hope they're going to develop this dude into a pass rusher. Otherwise, what a terrible pick.
You wouldn't be too excited. I agree. I think taking him at 60 will probably not 64 will probably be a little more fun, but not at 32. Not at 32. That's just me guessing. Did you get a chance to look at? I'm not going to talk about these auxiliary characters yet. Did you watch the safety Lewis Cine?
It's Cine. Yeah, I watched Scene, and I'll be honest, I'm gonna have to see more because I don't even know.
Safety's more. Yeah.
He's listed at 6'1", 200, but when you were saying with Walker, I think Scene is more 180. But he is shot out a freaking cannon playing downhill. That dude wants to hit. Like he doesn't knock you backwards, but he will tackle you, and he will hit you as hard as he can. It's not all that hard, but he's here for it. And I think he moves pretty well. I think he can play free safety in the NFL, but some of his coverage stuff wasn't great at the catch point.
Sure.
Late sometimes, realizing he needed to get deep. So, again, I think there's a lot there because I think he moves well. I think he can play free safety well, and he's a super aggressive running the alley dude. I like Lewis Cine. I don't think I like Lewis Cine like some other people like Lewis Cine who have him ranked in the 30s or low 40s.
I tried to watch him, but I dozed off and fell asleep, so I ain't really got nothing for you, man.
That's what happens. That's what happens with safeties. That was the thing I said on Trusted Tape with Brian brought us the other day. With safeties, like the first 15 plays, it's like, well, he plays for Georgia. He doesn't have to do shit.
Yeah.
He's just watching the game happen.
I'm not.
He runs down there and celebrates with guys. He gets excited.
I'm not here for it. Georgia got two more linebackers that I like a bunch. Like, and you know, they probably won't be like stars in the league or whatever. They'll be like, this is me guessing. They'll just probably be some work my way up guys or like kicking game dudes. Or
which ones? Because they all freaking fly. Channing Tindall flies. Nolan Smith flies. Quay Walker flies. They fly.
So I don't know Nolan Smith, but I know 41 Tindall and I know 7 Walker. They all got that same stuff in them. They all got that same run and hit in them. And I'd imagine if they go to a situation where they don't have to be super linebacker guy, where all they got to do is run and hit, I think they can do some things for you. But I see like kickoff in their future, which is okay. Yeah, they cool. They run and hit. I like them. They're fun.
And that's it for Georgia. I mean, for now anyway, that's it for Georgia. And I tell you what, and this is what makes the game interesting to me Monday night, is Georgia has more talent. Georgia has the better players. Problem is that all those great Georgia players, they're primarily run defenders first, and Alabama don't give half a crap. Bryce Young is the one that's going to beat you. So Bama's going to beat him again because they got the better quarterback.
Matchups. Is what it is, my guy. It wasn't a bunch of Bama children, right? It was 2 receivers, an offensive lineman, and a what now? That's it.
I tried to watch their defensive guys today a little bit. They have a bunch of them, but not like first rounders. I don't think. Some people think Jordan Battle, number 9, the safety is. I do not.
I'm not watching safety right now.
Yeah. Okay. But Evan Neal's a stud. Offensive tackle, left tackle, he's a stud.
So Jeff,
he's a stud.
There's another situation watching. I'm just watching Evan Neal, right? Watching him. I'm like, oh,
stud.
This a nifty footed character. Boy, he's probably what 315 pounds. Boy, he moves well for 315. And then I Google the shit.
357.
Sir, he's 6'7". He's 6'7". Despite being 6'7", he bends his knees really well. He's not a get tall dude. I love that about him. Interesting. I think he's a better pass blocker than run blocker, but I don't think he's a bad run blocker in terms of he's, like there's been like Leatherwood came out. I didn't think Leatherwood was a good run block for his size because I don't think he was powerful enough to be his size. I think Neal is powerful enough to be his size, but I think his base gets narrow and he turns sometimes because of that. If you just keep that wide or whatever, he's gonna walk people off the line of scrimmage all day, every day. So that's just small, little nitpicky fixes like that. But in terms of hands, mauling people, if he does get that good block purchase on you, the movement is crazy. The length is crazy. Like people explode when he touch them, bro. And I'm watching him. And I'm like, man, you can tell me about these quarterbacks and these pass rushers all you want to, but when you get good offensive linemen like this, you got to consider them dudes as one of the best or the top guys that you would draft or whatever. So I see him as one of those dudes. I start thinking about him versus the last 2 draft classes or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I think he'll be, if you put the last 3 draft classes together with him, I think he'll be at the top of that list. He'll be up there with Slater, Wirfs, and Wills and them. Don't ask me to rank them; it's too soon. But
yeah.
But
that's what I was just thinking when you said that. I was like, well, I think I would have Rashawn Slater above Evan Neal, but I don't know if I'd have Penei Sewell above Evan Neal.
I don't have Penei Sewell up there with those. Like Sewell's like 5th for me, but that's just me talking.
Yeah, Evan Neal's awesome. I mean, it's when you're that big, and the word athletic is relative, right? It's relative to being 357 pounds.
Is relative to his size.
Yes,
sir.
And at that size, like I watched him at A&M as they were down kind of on the goal line, and he got caught lunging. Offensive linemen get out over their skis a little bit. You get caught lunging, and most people, when you get caught lunging, the guy's gone. But his lunging, when he starts to miss, he's so damn long that he still manages to catch a little piece of him with the outside of his hand, and he's athletic enough to get his feet right and correct and save him. Like being that big and athletic, it just helps you to erase mistakes. If you make mistakes, it's like, no problem, I'll fix it because I'm me. Evan Neal's awesome. He'll go in the top 10, maybe he goes in the top 5. Evan Neal's going to be picked really high. You can't have him.
Based on some of the guys I've been watching. What is Scoutcast, Jeff? Let's do this. Have you seen the 2 pass rushers yet? The top 2 pass rushers?
No, Voch, I told you. I started with the national title game. I'm leaving those guys to you. Who do I want, Thibodeau or Hutchinson?
It's kind of weird, man.
Started off, it was Thibodeau all day. By the end of the year, everybody'd flip to Hutchinson. Who am I taking, Voch?
I would rather Hutchinson than Thibodeau, honestly, because Thibodeau is another one of them dudes to where he's got the talent, but he's another raw character. You know what I'm saying? He has his flashes. Like if you watch a highlight tape, and I tell all my draft people, beware of these highlight tapes. If you watch a Kayvon Thibodeau highlight tape, you'll think it's up. You know what I'm saying? But there's a new phrase that I'm bringing to me and my audience or whatever. It's a tear shit up guy.
Oh,
tear shit up guy, right? And you gotta respect tear shit up guys, right? Thibodeau is not a tear shit up guy. He's a guy that's talented, that could develop and turn into a pass rush that's going to be good for you. When Aiden Hutchinson touch people, they explode. He's a tear shit up guy. My problem is every year as draft people, Jeff, is that we run into players to where I don't think their coaches are using them properly. You know what I'm saying? When I see Aiden Hutchinson and they got him standing up and he's like a wide 9 and he's dropping back and cover sometimes and shit, I think they're doing too much. They being too cute. Because whenever Aiden Hutchinson touch people, they explode. I want that dude to be used how Houston was using J.J. Watt. You either going to put him in an even front 5, the 4-eye type of deal, or at 3-tech. Let that dude fly and do that. And whenever he touch people, I'd rather have that dude than Kayvon Thibodeau. But I'll take
him.
I'll take Cowboys definitely not. It just there's a Jag or Lions fan somewhere. If you're asking me, I think so far Evan Neal is a better prospect than Thibodeau and Hutchinson, in my personal opinion.
Oh, so he'll be in the mix for number one. Especially you think if Jacksonville has number one overall, they're going to be desperate to fix their offensive line. Maybe Evan Neal will be the number one overall pick.
In my personal opinion. And I don't want people out here saying just because Neal is big that he should be playing like guard or something. Like Neal ain't playing nothing but tackle. Like
his arms are longer than my whole body. He's playing tackle.
Let that dude be that, man. Let that dude be what that is. But yeah, man. And I don't, and don't ask me about quarterbacks neither. Me and Jeff ain't gonna watch them till like the end. But unless you've watched quarterbacks already.
No, I hate quarterbacks. Yeah, quarterbacks get watched in either February or March. I hate quarterbacks.
For sure. So, yeah, man, so far, like if I had to give my first few of the names that we've talked about, it'll be Evan Neal. Then you can put Hutchinson. And I'm just not going to put Thibodeau to be safe because I think it's going to be some children better than him. Stingley. Put Stingley in there.
Oh, Voch hates Thibodeau. I'm excited to watch Sauce Gardner. That's who I want to watch.
Is his name Sauce for real?
Yeah, Ahmad, I think, but Sauce.
Okay. Sauce. Well, it's Ahmad then.
Well, it goes by Sauce.
Julio, real name ain't Julio. It's some long nonsense. Did you want to touch on any Cowboy things, Jeff? Chat box, and y'all want to touch on any?
I want to touch on Alabama's receivers real quick.
Go ahead. You got it.
Jamison Williams. He's the one who will actually play in this game. And I have some wild wide receiver rankings sometimes. Like I loved Deontay Johnson, and a lot of people didn't. And I'm just gonna pat myself on the back. I'm good at this with wide receivers. So Jamison Williams, I went and looked at some people's rankings. Like he's top 18 for Dane. He's top 14 per Pro Football Focus. I don't think I'll have him that high. Ooh. Jamison Williams can fly, and he's a really, really good player, and he deserves to be a first-round pick. I just think I'll probably find a receiver or two that I might like better than him because I'm a big fan of the technicians and the route runners and the quick-footed. Yeah. And he's kind of he's listed at 6'2", and he's however you want to call high cut. He's a long-legged kind of strider guy.
Sure.
But he can fly. So like he's a really good player. The production he had in the SEC is incredible. He's like a better Henry Ruggs, actually.
So why do you say he sucked though?
I don't say he sucked. I say I have an affinity for the players who I'm more comfortable when a dude lines up in their grill and is going to be playing press man that they can beat him off the line and beat him with a route. And Jamison Williams is he's okay route runner for who he is, I think. But like John Mechie's on his team, he won't play in the national title game. And everybody's got him like in the 50s or 60s. And by the end of it, I might have Mechie ahead of Jamison Williams because he is that sort of quick-footed route runner on third down. It's who they go to all the time. After the catch, he can find seams and make people miss because he can stop and go. So I think Jamison Williams will be a nice deep threat wide receiver in the NFL that's better than just a deep threat. Mm-hmm. But I don't think he'll be a number one.
Would you say that Jamison is lazy?
I don't think that word pops in my mind. No.
Okay. There's just somebody in my chat box. Nick Gashler. I really trust his work. He's 17, but he's been doing this since 15, so I trust him. He should be better than all of us, by the way. He should be doing the kid thing and getting all the views that the kids do. But I trust him a lot. He says that Jameson is lazy, so I'll watch him before I call him lazy. But that's just what he says. But go ahead.
Mechie's fun. I like Mechie. And the Alabama defensive guys, I tell you what, I watched the A&M game for Bama's defense, and people who tell me that Jordan Battle, their safety, or Christian Harris, their linebacker, are really, really good players, I say I didn't see it. But I will obviously watch more games. But, boy, I saw people misdiagnosing, missing tackles, overrunning plays. The one guy on their defense that I watched that I did enjoy is Fedarian Mathis, number 48. He's a D tackle, and he's fun. He's kind of a flash guy too, but he's got a little bit of everything. A little bit of violence, a little bit of get off, a little bit of stuff to run. So I like their number 48 defensive tackle. I struggle with some of their other guys so far.
Let me ask you this, Brother Jeff. Do you think a lot of people get ranked highly, or they build a following or a group of fans or whatever because of like their name? Like Sauce Gardner is a cold ass name, so people gonna end up watching him because his name is Sauce. But is he as good as his name Sauce Gardner?
Ask Jamison Williams.
You saying Jameson was smoking shit out Sauce Gardner? What you saying?
No, I'm not.
Oh, you saying that Sauce was?
I'm saying
smoking,
ask Jameson Williams
okay, cool.
if Sauce Gardner can play.
I'm just asking because they one day there's gonna be some dude called the coldest.
Wasn't that an LSU guy?
The coldest to ever do it is gonna be a thing one day, and I think people are gonna like him because his name is the coldest. Just like with Lil Jordan Humphrey, people love this. There was a cult following for Lil Jordan Humphrey, and I just wasn't on that team with that, but his name is Lil Jordan, so they like him. I got a question for you though, Jeff, and I kind of wanted to run this by Broadus also, like one day, like if we ever do this or whatever, because y'all,
I can just send him a link right now. I'm sure he'd jump in.
Do you think that we should reevaluate the idea of that kid needs to go back to school? Because last year we saw the COVID opt-out camps, right? And them dudes didn't go back to school, but they just went to these COVID camps or these opt-out camps or whatever. And at these opt-out camps, I would say that the difference is that when you go back to school, you're prepping to beat Michigan State. But when you go to the opt-out camp, you're just working on being a better pass. I'm talking about Parsons right now. You're just going to be a better pass rusher. You're going to learn NFL shit. You're learning how to move like an NFL player. And we didn't like a lot of the opt-out guys. Well, let me just for Voch. Voch didn't like a lot of the opt-out guys. Not because they opted out. It's just that because I knew what Rashawn Slater was. I didn't really worry about him. But Jason Oweh had a lot of growth to make. Panay Sewell, guys like Tampa Bay, pass rusher in Tampa Bay.
Tryon,
and Parsons, right? They all were guys that I feel like they had a little more to work on. But they go to these opt-out camps. Russo also. They go to these opt-out camps, you know what I'm saying? They didn't go back to school, but they're so much better in their rookie campaign. So moving forward, Brother Jeff, do you think that these opt-out camps would be better than going back to school? And do we see people next year opting to go back to these opt-out camps and not go to school?
Yeah, I think it's probably better. I think it's less likely that you get hurt. You're not taking any sort of a pounding. And instead of working with a college position coach who's working with 8 other guys at the same time, you're working at EXO, so you're working at APEC. Like there's a bunch of them in DFW where these guys will be working. Like I'll be out there. I know where Nicoby Dean's going to be working out, so I'll be out there watching. But the guys who, you have access to those sort of things, they're training you specifically to get you ready to play NFL football, not play in your next college football game. I think the only reason more people won't do it is I think it's got to be you have to know that your draft status is safe. And Parsons knew, Chase knew, Sewell knew, Slater knew. Yeah. I don't know how Rousseau knew, but whatever.
Rousseau
but just off the top of my head, in this game Monday night, if Will Anderson opted out next year, the Alabama pass rusher, number 31, he's number 1 pick next year anyway. I mean, unless it's a quarterback. But outside of quarterbacks, he's the number 1 pick. He's already showed it. It's over. I think Jackson Smith-Njigba, the wide receiver at Ohio State, that's from Rockwall.
I've heard of him.
I think he could opt out, and he's a first-round pick.
Sure.
And who is the other one? 88. Jalen Carter for Georgia. He could opt out, and he's the first defensive tackle taken next year.
But
a select group of people, I don't know if they will, because I think people like playing football. Like they want to play football. But, if I would advise it, yes.
I was just about to say, but Jeff, if they opt out, Kirk Herbstreit say they don't love the game, Jeff, if they opt out.
Kirk Herbstreit can SMA. Okay. I learned that 3-letter abbreviation from my friend Erin Murray, and she sends it to people all the time. It means suck my bottom. It's a real weird thing to say to somebody, which is what makes it funny.
Strange.
Like you would never tell somebody suck my ass.
Please don't.
That makes it funny.
It might hurt.
Hey, shout out to Josh in the super chat. What are the Cowboys' top draft needs? And Tool Worker, what do you think about center Jarrett Patterson from Notre Dame, 2nd rounder? Would you? You had to wait on that one. Tool Worker. I don't know yet. And Josh, the top Cowboy needs are best player available that doesn't play quarterback or running back.
Too soon, player. Too soon. We winning. Let's see. I had some supers. I promise I did. Chris Vickers dropped the deuce and says, who are the Cowboys picking at 32? Too soon, player. We'll let you know. I don't even know. Nicoby Dean. Sir.
Let him get to 32. Nicoby Dean. Chris Olave.
Whatever. Sure.
Garrett Wilson.
So let me ask you this, Brother Jeff. Did you want to get into Cowboys offseason, or you want to talk about this preseason game we got tonight? It's up to you.
Here's a Cowboy question in a super chat from Cowboy Sport Report by Charles in Charge. I would imagine somebody with that name probably has a channel.
That's incredible. I'm sorry. Cowboy Sports Report.
by Charles in Charge.
That's fire. Go ahead, sir.
Do you think they screwed the dog by putting Lyle back at right tackle after Steele was playing great and getting better by the game and our run game was on? No, because Lyle Collins is better than Terrence Steele. But I will tell you, I do not have a great explanation for why the Cowboys stopped being able to run the ball the last 10 weeks, and it is maddening because you are facing light boxes that are playing against the pass, and the fact that you can't run the ball is your real problem. Like, Dak is up and down. His consistency has not been good, but your real problem is these dudes are dropping 7 in coverage, and you can't run a lick. Start blocking, Cowboys. That's your fault, Voch. You're my offensive line guy. You need to tell the Cowboys to fix this.
Well, sir. I was upset that we drafted Parsons because I wanted Rashawn Slater, sir. So don't even, you know what I mean? How fire would it? They would have gave Rashawn Slater Offensive Player of the Year if week 1 he was at right guard for Zach Martin. If week 2 to week whenever the hell Lael was gone, he was playing right tackle. Play left guard for Connor when he was messing up, then go play left tackle for Tyron when he was out. If he would have touched all those positions, sir, it gave goddamn Rashawn Slater Player of the Year, and he could have
worked out. He could have worked out. Okay, hey, the Cowboys' preseason game against Philadelphia tonight. I will tell you this: I do hope that they play enough of their good players to win the game because there is a chance you can move up. You know, there's a chance, and you got to let that chance have a chance. I think the 49ers are going to beat the Rams because they've beaten them 5 times in a row, and beating them gets them in the playoffs. I think the 49ers are going to beat the Rams. Mm-hmm. Then we just need the wild-ass Seattle to beat Arizona, which, I don't know, it's not impossible. Not likely, but it's not impossible. So go win the game. But outside of that, with everybody that's going to be missing, the only thing I care about is watching Boss Man. That's all I care about.
Is that all we need to get into the second or third seed or whatever? We just need Arizona to beat whatever and them to be who?
If those 2 things happen, then you're the 3 seed. If Tampa also loses, you're the 2 seed.
Oh.
So you need upsets, but one of them I think will happen. And then if you think Seattle has a chance to beat Arizona, you can move up a spot.
Actually, if that's the case, I like the Rams being ahead of us or whatever, because we'll get the home game the first week. But I think whoever the Rams play in the playoffs, Matthew Stafford is going to do Matthew Stafford things, and that'll make us the better seed than 5, whoever the hell that they're going to play. So we can get 2 home games just by playing at the 4th seed and the Rams losing in the first round.
It's possible. It's possible. I'm just trying to move up because I want to play San Francisco because I want to play Jimmy Garoppolo or rookie Trey Lance in the first round. And Stafford could cough up a playoff game if that's who you play. 100%. And Arizona, I actually do believe if it's a rematch that the Cowboys are going to beat Arizona. Sure. So you can beat any of them. I just want to be as high as possible so that if weird stuff happens, you can get home field throughout.
Yeah. In terms of the players I'm watching tonight, man, like I said, it's going to be a big preseason mess. But I think before long, Kelvin Joseph is just going to keep rising up the rank. He just I'm not going to overreact, but he looks great when he's in there. So let's see him versus the Eagles' first wide receiver team. Like, they're sitting a bunch of guys, but I think the first receiver is going out there. And Gardner Minshew is a pro-level quarterback that has won some games before, so it's not going to be a terrible look. Besides that,
he might be better than Hurts.
Could be passing the ball at least. But I mean, Nashawn's gonna be out there, of course, but Tristan's gonna get a bunch of reps. I mean, seeing guys like him, I guess, but I ain't really got too much to see in this game. I might stop the stream at halftime. I might fall asleep on camera. Y'all got to tune in to see.
Do you stream the whole game?
I stream the whole game, brother Jeff.
What a beast.
I know. I be tired of there too, boy.
What a freaking beast.
But look, Jeff, after doing the whole game, they want to call in and like just ask questions for like a whole 2 more hours. So I may have a 7-hour stream or something like that. As maniac behavior. I normally don't do it, but I love my people, man. I love my people.
Give him a bunch of money. Give Voch all your money. Well, you know, the amount that you have that is disposable income. Give Voch a Boss Man versus Heisman winner round 2. Boss Man versus Devontae Smith. Let's get it. Yes, sir. Special K. And Ryan McManus, 12 personnel, helped run game until Jarwin got hurt. Kind of, and it's weird because Jarwin's a terrible blocker, but I guess just having an extra gap, I don't know.
Guess it was just about
let Voch fix that crap.
Yeah. Look, man, I would say that a lot of the problem was Connor McGovern wasn't getting to the second level. Connor Williams is back now, so I guess this is just a continuity thing now. Just getting Connor Williams working back with Tyron Smith or whatever. I'd imagine that once we get back, and then look, the Cowboys didn't have a hard time moving the football last week. All the numbers would have been better. It's just that drive killer here, drive killer there, drive killer there. You probably had
first 3 drives: hold, kill the drive.
Yep.
False start. Third one was a hold. That was your first 3. Now, technically, the second one I would put on Dak because it was still converted if he hits Coop on the 3rd 9. But all 3 of those were hold, didn't get a first down. Yep. False start, didn't get a first down. Hold, didn't get a first down. 3 drives.
But no matter what happens, though, in the eyes of Cowboy Nation, it's Kellen Moore's fault. Jose Banks just dropped a dime and says, is Kellen Moore taking the job? I don't know. I'm no
taking what job?
Jacksonville.
Kellen Moore's not going to get offered that job, I promise you. Because you might, listen, Voch might still think that Kellen's amazing. And I think he's probably pretty good.
Kellen cool.
But you do have to remember that part of this hiring process is they're hiring a CEO. Like, the interview is going to be about so many things that they're asking you about. Like, hey, tell me about the coaching staff you're going to build. Tell me about this. Tell me about accountability. Tell me about this. Like, Dan Quinn would kill a head coaching interview, right? He'd have great answers. He's authoritative. I don't think Kellen interviews well. And I know that he didn't interview well at Boise State. I'll tell you that right now.
I don't know how he interviews, but I just don't think Kellen Moore would be a good head coach in general because there's a lot of shit that goes into head coaching. Like, if you listen to Mike McCarthy talk, and motherfuckers can hate on Mike McCarthy all they want to, there's a lot of management shit involved, which is why I like that he ain't doing shit else. But Mike McCarthy would be like, yeah, man, so we were monitoring the snaps, and we wanted to make sure that the presentation and the PowerPoints were looking good, and we wanted to have a mindset of such and such. But we wanted to make sure that we did this by 7:00, and we even had an idea to make the offensive people go talk to the defense coach. Kellen ain't got that. Kellen ain't got none of that in him. Dan Quinn
check the GPS on the players. He'd been going a little bit too much, and then we do our 2.3 second drill because after 2.3 seconds when everything happens like this. The thing about McCarthy is McCarthy knows his shit. People want to pretend he's an idiot. McCarthy knows his shit.
Philosophy, right? Like you have to have a mindset. And Kellen just seems to be a dude that nerds out on offense, which is fantastic for a OC. You know what I'm saying? And I hope that Dan Quinn would follow in the footsteps of Wade Phillips and Jack Del Rio and guys like Ty Bowles and Raheem Morris, to where they go do the head coach thing for a little bit, they lose at it, and they go, hey man, I'm just gonna be a fantastic DC wherever the hell I go from here on out. You know what I'm saying? I hope Dan Quinn follows that protocol,
or I do too. I worry that you're not going to have Dan Quinn next year, but I do think you'll have Kellen. You might not have Dan. You might have them both. But I do worry that a team might like Dan Quinn. And I've heard that Dan Quinn, there is a job in the NFL that he would not mind that may come open.
The only thing that we can latch on to and hope for is the idea that why would Kellen Moore go to another team when he got all this, or why would Dan Quinn go to another team when he got all this?
Right, and Dan Quinn he won't even go to Jacksonville because he thinks Trent Baalke's an idiot. He said like he's not even, he may interview, but I don't think he even wants to interview because he thinks the GM is incompetent, so he doesn't want to be there.
Say Don says, but Mike's game management, clock management skills are horrible. Everybody's is.
Yeah, he's like, I've found a fun way that people distributed like when coaches call timeouts and who screws it up the most. And he's like the 10th best in football. Like, he's fine. There's a lot of idiots at game management.
Andy Reid, Sean McVay. Take a pick.
That's what I'm trying to think. There's some that are just absolutely atrocious at it. I can't think of it top of my head.
Yeah, whatever. Jeff, you got a thing to go do at 2:00, man. Is this good for you, or you wanted to talk to the people? It's up to you, Jeff.
I'm good. I got no super chats or nothing, and I got to get rid of some of this hair. I got a barber appointment here in 40 minutes. Got to go to the barber.
So, hey, listen, this is the first Scoutcast back. Jeff said he want luxurious Jeff. He said you want to do it every week, man, so we'll do it every week, bro. If we don't do it every week, I'll be doing it every week over on my channel, but after Cowboys win, because Cowboys winning too much to be super doing 3 draft shows a week and all that kind of shit. But me and Jeff will at least do Scoutcast once. JC105 on JC1053 on YouTube, and Jeff Cavanaugh, pardon me, JC1053 on Twitter, and Jeff Cavanaugh on YouTube. Go check him out if you're on my side. Go ahead,
Charles in charge is mad at me because he said that Steele, as a second-year player, was run blocking great and taking on great pass rushers, and Jerry just wouldn't have a high-paid swing tackle. He said he lost his job by missing a year and a half. Terrence Steele, on his best run blocking play, has never blocked better on a run play than Lyle Collins blocks when he falls down and farts. Lyle Collins is the best run blocking tackle in the NFL. And as a pass protector, you could make a case that they're comparable. Terrence Steele played really well, but Lyle Collins is one of the best run blockers in the entire NFL.
I think what happens with the whole Terrence Steele thing is that they're thinking about his dollar amount. Is they go, oh, he's blocking really well for, I don't know, $38 a year, whatever he's making, pardon me. But he's blocking really well for that. And Lyle Collins, who's cheap for a top tackle also, whatever, like $10, $11 million, whatever. He's cheap for that, but they see that big money associated with Lyle Collins, and they just, they want to go cheaper, but just play the best guy and just move on with your life, man.
Look at Tolo, Big Tuck Nasty up in the Twitch. You don't have a Twitch channel, do you, Voch?
I got it, but it's gonna be for non-football things that I'm working on later.
Oh, what are you working on? You don't want to tell the people?
OnlyFans.
Oh, some feet stuff.
All of it.
Feet pics.
All the fans for the OnlyFans. Nah, man, it's just that I'm going to retire from football at some point, or at least I'm not gonna do it like all the time. It's just that the audience is bigger elsewhere, and I think honestly I'm better as a content creator doing other things than talking football.
Oh, you're gonna be a politics guy, aren't you?
Fucks no. Sometimes, but no. Not for real. Mostly making people laugh and playing video games and just commentary, shit like that.
Okay. Hey, if no one has subscribed on Twitch, if I haven't gained a single Twitch subscription during this stream, I'm gonna fight you, my Twitch listeners, my Twitch peoples. I gotta come up with a name for my Twitchers, but I'll fight you.
Don't come up with a name for your Twitchers. Just call them your Twitch people or your YouTube people.
YouTube people and Twitch people. Okay. Well, I'm done. I got stuff to do. I got to go. Make sure you're following Voch Lombardi. He's a beast. And on Twitch, where he's going to release his foot pics. And remember that you have no idea what anybody is going through. So be cool to everyone. I love you. And Outcast says,
hold down for the Doski Woski and PC.
Doski Woski.
We suck, Jeff. We not. Look, man, we rusty, man. We rust. We got to get back at it, man. We got to, get back conditioned, but we'll be good. Peace, y'all. Y'all hold it down. Till next time.